Welcome to College Game Day with Hick the Stick for week 5 of the college football season. Last week was a very interesting week. We had lots of upsets, lots of games come down at the very end. We had blowouts. We had some great games too. But some of the games that sticked out was Wisconsin and Michigan. Michigan finally lost. They got beat by Wisconsin. They were just barely holding on to those other games. So they played somebody hard and they got beat. Our next game was UCLA versus Washington. Washington got upset by UCLA, who did not win a game in the season. And then the one everybody is talking about, UCF. UCF lost to Pittsburgh in the final seconds of the game to give them their first loss in 3 years in the regular season. And now they're 3-1. Well, last week I went 11-6, hoping to do even better this week because right now I'm just falling apart a little bit, hoping to bounce back into getting more games right. Well, let's start it off with Texas Tech versus number 6, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got that quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Oklahoma looks like they found another good quarterback. He's got over 800 passing yards already, 9 passing touchdowns, and not even counting his rushing touchdowns, too. They're 4-0 right now. Oklahoma wins the game over Texas Tech. Next is Northwestern versus number 8, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, their defense is looking good. They play hard. They play tough. They're ready to play anybody in the nation. And right now, their defense is looking really good. Wisconsin beats Northwestern. They got that big win against Michigan. They're really happy right now. Mid-Tennessee versus number 14, Iowa. Iowa looks to go 4-0 and get the win this week. They beat Mid-Tennessee. Our next game is Rutgers versus number 20, Michigan. Now, like I said, Michigan got beat. They were just barely holding on to wins, just barely winning games, and then they played somebody hard, and Wisconsin took care of them. It looked like it was going to be a blowout, and Wisconsin still won 21 points, but Michigan still got beat. And they're looking to bounce back this week and beat Rutgers in this week's game. Our next is number 23, Texas A&M versus Arkansas. Now, Texas A&M has 2 losses, and they're not bad losses, but they really are, because you think about it, Texas A&M's only beating not winning those games that matter. Those big games. They've lost to Clemson and now Auburn. They're losing those big games. Till they start winning those big games, they're not the team that I thought they were going to be. They're not very good right now, I don't think. But they will get the win this week over Arkansas. Number 1, Clemson versus North Carolina. Clemson, with their win last week, is now 20-0. They've won 20 games in a row, counting from last year's season of 16-0, and this season was 4. They're now 20-0, and they're looking to make it 21, beating North Carolina. Next is Ole Miss versus number 2, Alabama. Now, Alabama's got Tua, their quarterback. He's thrown 17 touchdowns already, and he's got those receivers. That's what Alabama has. Great receivers. They're making plays, making it easy for Tua. And Alabama looks like the team they've been the last couple years. So Alabama will get the win over Ole Miss. Next is Indiana versus number 25, Michigan State. Michigan State just jumped right back into the top 25, but they're going to get kicked out of the top 25 again because Indiana is going to take care of them this week and get the upset over Michigan State. Our next is Towson versus Florida. Florida is just holding on right now to the ropes. That's what I think right now. They're just holding on to that rope, and I'm ready to see them play somebody good again and see what happens when they play somebody like that. Because right now, they're just holding on. Are they going to keep holding on and keep their undefeated season going? That's the question. But Towson is going to lose to Florida this week. Our next is Mississippi State versus number 7, Auburn. Auburn got that big win over Texas A&M. They went to Texas. They played in the stadium with the 12th man, and they took care of business. They got the win. They only won by 8, but a win is a win. And Auburn got the win. Our next is UConn versus number 22, UCF. UCF is now 3-1. For the first time, they have a 1 in their loss column. And UCF is ready to bounce back. I'm sure they're ready to get back on winning and beat UConn this week. Our next is number 24, Kansas State versus Oklahoma State. Now, Oklahoma State lost to my Longhorns last week, but Oklahoma showed a lot of skills on the offensive side. They look explosive. Oklahoma State, I mean, they got a great offense. Their defense isn't good, but whose defense in the Big 12 is good? I mean, Oklahoma State is going to give Kansas State a fight this week, and that's why I'm going to give the win to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State gets the upset over Kansas State. Our next is Washington State versus number 19 Utah. Now, both teams lost last week to teams that one was ranked and the other wasn't. Like I said, UCLA beat Washington State. Well, they're looking to jump back, both of them, and get back in the win column and start winning games again. And I think Washington State is going to jump this week, and they're going to beat Utah and give Utah another their second loss of the season. So this week, Washington State with the upset over Utah. Now our game of the week, number 18 Virginia versus number 10 Notre Dame. A tough loss for Notre Dame last week. I mean, they lost to Georgia. It was a close game for a while. It looked like they had a chance at the end to come back, but they weren't able to. Notre Dame is ready for this game against Virginia, the undefeated team, and it's going to be close, but Notre Dame gets the win. And then our next game, 21 USC versus number 17 Washington. And here is my final and last upset of the day. USC wins the game over Washington, gets the win. Their quarterback is looking really good right now. He stepped up big the last couple of weeks. USC is playing good football. USC gets the win over Washington. Well, my Longhorns got an off week this week, so that's all I got here on College Game Day with Hick the Stick for Week 5. I'll see you in Week 6 of the college football season. Make sure if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, and please tell your friends about it as well. I'll see you next week.